Once you have installed and configured your CWP panel and you have started hosting or using your website on this amazing control panel, one major challenge you would probably be faced with is the volume of the number of security alerts that are pushed to your email on a daily basis. So each time there is an attack or there is a failed login attempt on your server, you get notified via email that an attempt has occurred and all those information is pushed to your email address. Now this can really get voluminous depending on the number of attacks that is launched at your server on a day-to-day basis. But trust me, this can really get voluminous and it can get annoying sometimes, where you just wake up and your email address is full of attacks that were unsuccessful on your server. So one thing you probably want to do is that you want to turn off these attempts. Now your server is configured to shut down an attempt on your server or to block attempts on your server in such a way that once someone has tried to log into your server more than a certain number of times, then they get blocked and that IP address that is launching that attack or trying to gain access to your server is denied by your server, such that that IP address won't work again until probably after some time or until you remove that IP address from your blocked list. But then you want to turn off these notifications so that while the blocks are still going on actively on your server and your server is still being protected by your firewall, you don't just get notified of those things so that your email doesn't get cluttered. So how do you do that? Well, to do that, what you want to do is you want to click on firewall right here, and once you click on firewall, you want to go to configuration and you want to go to main configuration. Now if you don't go this route of clicking firewall here, you can come to navigation here and do a search for firewall, and then just go to your firewall manager. That brings you essentially to the same place. Now once you come here, you would see all those IP addresses that has been blocked. Like if you come under the blacklist configuration here, you would see all these are failed attempts launched at this server, and these are the IP addresses that have launched these attacks, and then your firewall has essentially blocked these attacks. So you can see, for instance, there's this IP address that tried to SSH into this server, and then after 5 attempts, you can see 5 attempts in the last 3,600 seconds. After 5 attempts, this IP address was blocked. So you have your firewall working on the server to protect the server. But then what you want to do is that you want to disable alerts. So what you want to do is you want to come to configuration, and then you want to go to your main configuration. Now once you get to your main configuration, you want to look for the permanent block alerts section of this main configuration. To make it easy, I'm just going to do a Control F since I'm on Windows, and I'm going to do a search for LF. Okay, I'm going to do perma block. Let me just do perm block. And I'm going to go for the alerts. So once you do a search for LF Palm Block Alert, you would come here where you have the LF Palm Block Alert. Now 1 means that alerts should be sent to you each time someone tries to do something on your server and they fail. You want to get an alert. When you turn this 1 to 0, just change 1 to 0. Of course, remember that there are quotation marks around that. When you turn this 1 to 0 and you save the change, then it means you have disabled alerts for permanent blocks. So when someone comes to your server and tries to do something and your server permanently blocks the person, that's what this LF means. it means the permanent block has been applied to that IP address that is trying to do something. So when that IP address is blocked permanently, by changing the alert level from 1 to 0, it means that you will no longer be sent an alert when that block occurs. Okay, then you can also change the count, the permanent block count. If you want, you can change it. Now, as a rule, for me personally, I like to leave the block count at 3. What this means here is that when someone tries 3 times to, probably you want to log in on the server, and then you try 3 times. After the 3rd attempt, you get disabled. If you change it to 4, then it means that you have the opportunity to try 4 times before that person is disabled. So I like to keep it at 3. So after 3 attempts, that IP address that is trying to attempt something on the server gets disabled. And then once you are done with your setting, you can just do a save change. After your change has been made, what you want to do is you want to scroll down and you want to save your change. And then after your change has been saved, you want to let your firewall know that you have done a change. So in order to make your firewall know that you have ordered a change, you want to come back to your firewall manager and you want to restart your firewall. So you want to just do a restart firewall, okay? Or you want to do just restart all, okay? You can just force restart everything. And once you do that and a restart is done for your firewall, that change will now be enabled and you would have disabled alerts on your server.